זה משהו שלמשל, אני סיפרתי למישהו פה, שאם יש לי שפעת בחורף, אז אחרי השפעת אני מרגישה קצת עייפה, כמו שמרגישים אחרי השפעת, ואז אני עושה את הטכניקה שוב, פעמיים, ואז אני לא מתחילה להתעזר עוד פעם למצב של ה-Cfs. ובשבילי, אחרי 10 שנים שהייתי בספה רוב הזמן, זה פשוט נס. בשבילי שאני חזרתי לחיים, ומאוד רציתי כן, היום יש לי חיים רגילים. כל האינפורמציה בפלייר שנתתי.
Do we have any questions then? Does anyone would like to ask some questions? Okay, I've nearly finished. Just a couple more minutes. So, I don't exactly know what Karen said, but I hope it was positive. So, the good news about this hypothesis is that since I published the hypothesis, I've contacted many doctors and researchers, and there's nobody that said this can't be true. It's certainly one hypothesis that might explain the illness. And it helps us understand why we have, for instance, we'll have the neurologists saying they think that this is the cause of the problem. I'll have rheumatologists saying this, and the endocrinologists saying this. It's because the entire body is being affected by the way that the brain is stimulating the body. And the brain, as far as the brain is concerned, the brain thinks that it is doing the right thing. So it's a bit like a computer. The software of the computer is malfunctioning and making the computer crash. In terms of the hardware, it may be affecting the hardware in the short term, but I believe that when you fix the software that's going wrong, then the hardware itself can heal. That's what I believe. So if you want more information, there is more information in Hebrew on our website, and also it will give you more of an explanation as to what causes the condition, or what I believe causes the condition, and there is a whole explanation in Hebrew on the website as well. So I think we can take questions now. Sharon, do you want to take questions but with a microphone, or? Sure. That's fine. Is there any question? Okay, so the question was, do you need any initial training before you start this program of treatment? What I say to people is, in preparation of doing this retraining, someone has to have accepted that this illness is here and there's something that I can do about it, rather than looking too many places to try and find the answer. And secondly, that someone is prepared to commit to this treatment. Because this is not like taking a pill and the pain will disappear. This is a commitment of retraining every day those responses in the brain. So the only preparation is a commitment to say, for 6 months or a year, I'm not going to look at anything else or research anything else. I'm going to focus on using this treatment intensively. You can still take medications at the same time. Yeah. Okay, so another question? Yeah? So the question was, can this treatment help with neuropathic pain, where there's an actual organic source, as well as fibromyalgia? Now, we've only tested this program with chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia, but certainly there is research showing that even with neuropathic pain, where there is an organic source, using these types of treatments to calm the brain down can reduce pain. So there is evidence from other researchers to support that. So we don't know, but maybe our program can help with that sort. In fact, we have had people with back pain, with chronic back pain, a few people who've used the treatment and reduced their back pain that has been from many years. But that's anecdotal.
Could you just give some examples of what the retraining actually
Okay. So the question was, what kind of treatments, what kind of techniques are actually in the program? So the treatments in the program is what I call, obviously, amygdala retraining. And what it's saying is, every time there is a signal from the body, and there's a certain, like there's 20 or 30 different types of signals that the brain is receiving, it is about creating an awareness in the brain of what that signal is, and then changing the response that you have. Okay? And by continually changing the response in the way that the cortex is thinking about that signal, that sends a message back to the amygdala to stop its nervous response. So there are many different techniques, but as an example, one style of technique is that as soon as the mind thinks about the pain or scans the body for the pain, there is an interruption or a stop process and some breathing involved as well. Because you see, that signal is so powerful that in order to offset that signal, you need to have a very, very powerful opposite response to retrain. And that opposite response has to be repetitive. Some of the other techniques are supportive techniques. So there is a technique, there are techniques around meditation and breathing as well as a lifestyle things. But the main component of this retraining is to stop those signals and change those responses in the brain continually throughout the day. And also, there are techniques where you deliberately tune into the signal, and the signal might be a pain signal, or a fatigue signal, or an anxiety signal, and you tune into that mental pattern, and then you break out of that mental pattern, and then you tune back into the pain, and then back out of the pain. And what we found is by doing that specific process repeatedly, the brain finds it more difficult to process that pain signal, and the pain comes down, or the anxiety comes down. Okay. No more questions? Okay, well, thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. תודה רבה.